changing your environment, know how you're treating yourself, and especially know how you see yourself. God puts us on a certain path like no other. We dream about it. We talk about it. We sometimes even work for it. But here's the thing. When I understood in order to be a better me for the future, I have to become that person now. It's actually pretty simple, but you only see progress when you actually put forth the effort for said outcome. But the reason why you do it is because you deserve it. I'm not going to take up much of your time. Here's 3 things that I did so it'll be less difficult for you. Now, it doesn't seem as easy as you think, but in reality, when you break it down into 3 simple things each time. See, I know I'm about to say 3 things, but it's really like, 9 things. The first thing you got to do is change your environment. Changing your environment is actually pretty simple when you break it down. Who are the people you hang out with? What are the things that you consume? Where's the direction that you're growing? See, Westside Gunn put in one of his songs, it was a dude, he was like, 10 insecure people get together to become one person. And no matter how funny that really sounds, when you realize that the 5 people that you hang out with daily, you just become the result of them. When you really set your mind to being at this higher frequency, this upper echelon, you realize that all the things that your group of people are doing wrong, you're probably doing it with them. Just because you don't smoke or drink doesn't mean that you're not doing somewhat the same as them, because you may not be high or drunk, but you're still sitting around doing nothing while they're trying to sober up. What are the things you're consuming? Think of it like this. You have a social media feed, and that pretty much tells you what your life is like. Are you scrolling down entertaining yourself? Are you losing track of time because of how long you spent on TikTok? Is those YouTube shorts doing you justice? Sometimes a tree doesn't get sunlight for a long time, but the soil that they're in still helps them grow. Why is that? Because it's in their terrain. It's the right thing they need in order to grow. When you consume the wrong things, it doesn't always mean eating. Consuming the right things could also be what you're putting inside your brain. Are you reading? Are you finding new ways to discipline yourself? What are the things? Who are the people you're looking for guidance from? What direction are you growing? That's the third thing. The direction you're growing really depends on your environment. Think about it like this, right? There's this game called Kingdom Come Deliverance. And in this game, you play as a guy named Henry. And Henry is like a lot of us. He doesn't know how to do anything. But the only reason why he doesn't know how to do anything isn't because he's never done it, but because he's never been in a predicament to where he had to learn how to do it. He's barely even a blacksmith boy, all right? But the thing is, one day, his entire world changes. His small town ends up getting raided by humans, and now he has to go out into the real world and become this person in order to get his father's sword back. The only thing is, he doesn't know how to do anything. But the more he learns how to use a sword, the more he learns how to speak. He doesn't even know how to read at the beginning of the game. But then he goes out and finds a scholar that teaches him how to read. Now he's learning even faster because of the power of reading. I didn't read until about 2 years after I graduated. Reading really is fundamental. You just got to be consuming the right things, and that's how you know which way you're growing. Because again, what you consume is how you grow. If you consume the right things, you'll grow in the direction of the things you're consuming. Way number 2, how are you treating yourself? Do you spend the same amount of money on yourself as you do for others? What does that mean? Are you investing in yourself? Now, yes, are you treating yourself well, but are you investing in yourself? Are you doing the things that's going to put you in the right direction? I've already spent, it's probably don't even seem like a lot, but I've already spent a couple $100s on investing in myself, building that mindset. And the only reason why is because I had understood that the only way I'm going to get from point A to point B is if I do the things that get me to point B. Does that make sense? Do you spend quality time with yourself? One thing I do a lot now, I talk to myself. Now, when I was a kid, I used to talk to myself all the time, to a point where my family used to be like, why are you talking to the TV? I ain't never really understood. I was a kid growing up by myself for most of the part. But the only thing is that the reason why I talk to myself is because I was bouncing ideas off of my own head. Think about it. Jimmy Neutron just went to his sister's room and now he got superpowers from some bubble gum he just chewed, right? I thought to myself, what does it take in order to make some bubble gum like that? And that's when you realize you don't have a ceiling. That's when you realize your ceiling has moved, because you ask yourself the right questions. Asking yourself, how are you treating yourself? Are you spending quality time? Because you got to understand, you yourself is a great conversationalist because you know yourself. But if you find the right people, if you find people who are like-minded like you, they'll start to think, wow, he really does have great ideas. But the first person you have to know who has really good ideas is you. Spend that extra quality time with yourself, and those good, great ideas going to come to your head. What are your goals? How do you expect to get there? One thing my mentor tells me is that in order to get to A to Z, you have to reverse engineer it. Yes, Kendrick Lamar said, spin around and say the alphabet backwards. Now that I really think about it, oh my gosh, he actually means reverse engineer what you're doing. Isn't that crazy? That's gotta be crazy. Reverse engineering is one of the biggest steps to getting from point B. Knowing how to get from point B by knowing what the last thing you need to do to what's the first thing you need to do. Say if I wanted to create a business through YouTube, right? Now, what is the things that I need? I need to know, of course, I'll have the 10 million followers. Now, how did I get those 10 million followers? By speaking to the people. How did I speak to the people? By talking about what they wanted to know. What did they want to know? The things that I went through. What are the things that I went through that could help them? Now I talk about the things that I went through in order to help them. That's going to connect me to my followers. That's going to gain the following. And that's going to bring me up to 10 million. You see how that works? Crazy, ain't it? And the most important thing here, how do you see yourself? Now, when I tell you, how do you see yourself? It's not the same as how do you treat yourself. What are your strengths? Because you could be so focused on the things you can't do because of the people you're looking at instead of the things you can do. You have strengths. One thing I know I have strengths in is video games. I know about video games. I know about rags to riches music. I know about business because I put myself into the space where that's all I consume. But business isn't just making money. It's about your mindset. I know it sounds crazy, but in order to get out of the New York state of mind, you got to travel to Kansas. Did that make sense? Getting outside the comfort zone? Okay. But what are your strengths? What is something that you have that you can do better than someone else? Now, it's not about being better than someone else, but it's about you having strengths, because we can't see, like in a 2K game, we can't be the all around threat anymore. We got to know if we want to be a shooter, a playmaker, a defender, or an inside scorer. We can't be all. So when you get all three of these things, one has to suffer in order for something else to be better. And now you have two that you can really boost up. But the only thing is, what's still longer? That wasn't a joke to say fuck you though. But still, you got to realize one thing has to suffer. So when you focus on your strengths first, you become the best at that. And that's when you gain from it. Then you use your strength in order to work on the next thing. Then you can work on the next thing. Then you can work on the next thing. Do you think Kevin Hart started off making movies and then became a comedian? No, he was a comedian first. He made people laugh. He got himself out there by doing what he knew how to do. And then he branched out. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? See, I write down my goals now. I didn't used to do that. And the only reason why I wrote them down now is because I knew I wasn't going to remember it unless I put it into like a note in a way, right? How I see myself in 5 years is that about a year ago, I wanted to be the real estate mogul. I wanted to go into real estate and make billions and billions of dollars selling real estate. Real estate is a weird market to get into. I even did things like getting my credit up, learned about debt to tax ratios, all that things. I even bought a bunch of Robert Kiyosaki books just to learn something about financial literacy. But that's just me. You have something in you that you want to be able to accomplish in the next 5 years. You can do that. The only thing is that you have to become that person now. And the most important thing, having faith. Faith without works is dead. I didn't understand that until I got into a mindset where I had to move. Until I got into a point where I had to keep going. If I didn't keep going, I don't know what I would have did. I would have crumbled. I would have fell to my knees, and that wasn't for me. Affirmations work because when you keep telling yourself something, you start to believe it, right? Now, we all have that lie that we told ourselves and told other people, and we kind of believe it somewhat, but there's that part of our mind that knows it's not true. You wanna know what that was for me? I used to say that I was allergic to coconuts. I don't know why. In reality, I just don't like coconuts. Isn't that kind of weird? I did the Flint Lockwood, right? I just said I was allergic to something. I think it wasn't even for a female. It wasn't. It was really just because I didn't like coconuts. And I ended up saying the same thing because the way how my family treated me, because I was always a big kid. So the way how my family treated me, they treated me like, dang, what do you not like? So I thought, dang, if I don't like it, I must be allergic to it. And I put that in my brain. And in reality, I just don't like coconuts. I also said the same thing for peaches, but peaches started to grow on me. Oh, man, what? Look, and those are the three things that you need in order to be a better you. Changing your environment. Know how you're treating yourself. And especially, know how you see yourself. Because if God sees you as one of his children and he gave you his God likeness, then you should see yourself as the same. But that's pretty much it in this video. But I want you to remember, all about making you proud. I cut the camera off.